Hello everybody, I am the Linkzilla, and welcome back to Doom 3. Now, when we last left off, we had sent the message contacting the rest of the military fleet to send a rescue team to land on Mars and hopefully deal with this infestation we've got here, in the hopes that maybe we might basically get on a boat out of here. And basically, now we basically have to make it all the way to Delta Labs to meet up with Sarge and hope that we don't get left behind. So, it's actually ironic, you guys, because I've been telling you guys, stories of the first time I played Doom 3, and it suddenly all became clear when I played the game, and more importantly, why I decided to play the game. Because it was back in spring of 2016 when the new Doom game was coming out, and I'm pretty sure that new Doom game had a lot to do with it, but basically I started playing this game in the last few days of May of 2016, and that was a very bad time for me because that was the first semester of college where I ever failed a course. And not only did I fail it, I didn't... Revenants. Okay, let's do this. I've been waiting for this, actually. Okay, so not only did I fail it, but because of a snafu that the school made in regards to me purchasing textbooks, I had an outstanding account on my... Well, I had an outstanding fee on my account that I basically did not know about until March. And at that point, it basically got to past the point where I could have withdrawn from the class without academic penalty, which I really wish that I could have done, but I didn't get the opportunity to because they didn't tell me that I had an outstanding fee on my account, which really was just $39 that I immediately paid as soon as I found out it was there. So I really don't think that was worth friggin' losing college credit on. So anyway, I was basically in a mess that semester because fucking hell. Not only did I fail that class, but I actually basically nearly failed a different class. It was one of the toughest semesters that I've ever taken. I'm gonna need something a bit smaller. Not as powerful, but something that I can actually see over. It's amazing how their movements actually do mirror the movements of the original Revenant from the actual games. It's ironic because as I'm playing as John over on Doom 2, I basically make a comment that when I first run into the Revenants in Doom 2, I make a comment that I said, didn't see these guys on Mars. But here they were on Mars. That's what I love about Doom 3, you can actually shoot their rockets out of the air, instead of having them follow you around endlessly. So I was basically in an emotional wreck, and the way that I consoled myself was basically by watching Let's Plays of video games on YouTube. Then I basically decided that, hey, that new Doom 2016 looks fun. Not only am I going to buy it, but I'm finally going to get around to playing friggin' the Doom 3 that I've had not played for years. I was just basically deciding how he was going to die. So, I think that the summer that I played this game really basically kind of helped me get past some of the problems that I have. I'm pretty sure that I beat it, like, sometime halfway through June, and then I came back to it at some point in August. I think probably because I was frustrated that the new semester had started, so... yeah. Let me just basically put it out there for all you kids watching these videos. Regardless of what your parents have told you over the years, you don't need to go to college. In fact, it's probably better that you don't, because college ain't what it used to be. College actually used to be about teaching people actual skills and job-related tools so that they'll be better suited for life working in the private sector. So, but it's not about that anymore. College is basically kind of like glorified high school, where you learn all the same shit that you learned in high school, and depending on, like, what field you go into, a bunch of worthless other shit that isn't going to prepare you and isn't going to give you any kind of job skills. They claim that that they're teaching you how to think, except they don't do that anymore either. Colleges are now teaching you what to believe instead of how to think and come to decisions on your own. Colleges are now basically gigantic groupthink chambers. You know, I bet on some level he's complaining about why a plasma fireball at point-blank range didn't kill me. And honestly, I think that we both have an argument to make. I mean, Doom Guy didn't actually get the enhancements that I basically claimed that John did. I just basically, like, added in all that stuff as a means of drawing in from all the Doom lore as much as I could, and an excuse to use some clips from the movies, but I basically added it in that John was basically the only successful surviving test member of a super soldier project, and so basically John is superhuman. So it's expected that he could do all these things, but this guy, who isn't John Walker, isn't superhuman, so how the heck is he surviving all this shit? Aw, you too big to fit in here? Aw, poor baby. I think that they want me to start using the plasma gun again. I've always basically been a bit paranoid, a bit conservative when I played Doom, because with guns like the shotgun, the assault rifle, and even the pistol, and sometimes even the chain gun, I'm more than willing to break those out, and sometimes the rocket launcher if I have them, because the rocket launcher is my least used weapon. But when it comes to the plasma gun and the BFG, when I eventually get it, I feel like they provide so little ammo for these things that whatever ammo you get your hands on is precious. You have to save it for, like, the big occasions. But then you end up killing the big occasions in just a few rounds of ammo, so it doesn't. When you have to shoot, don't talk. Pick them up. Thank you. I think that he was expecting me to be in front of the door so that he could lunge at me. Pounce on me. Imps! They can't keep their hands off me. Why is my flashlight? There we go. You guys see this, right? My flashlight is no longer working. He hit the barrel. That's what I friggin' hate about the demons. The fact that they aim at you, but then they end up hitting the barrel that you just happen to be standing close to. Oh well. Show yourself. I hear him. Sir, where did you come from? Maybe it's because of how widely dispersed they are, because when you get to the original game, pinkies were like literally the most common enemy type to run into, and yet here they're used very sparingly. Or maybe it's because I'm on a higher difficulty. Bit closer, bit closer. Come out from behind the shelf. Maggots! hell am I going? That barrel is literally moving by itself. Finally, just wanted to do that. Come on. Come on. Come on, Dennis. A for effort. Oh, God. No wonder it stinks down here. Look at that ridiculous spread. Seriously. You know what I'm realizing? We haven't run into trites for a few episodes. And I feel like that just can't be. Because I remember the first time I played through this, trites were literally all over the place once they were introduced. Here, Megan. Hi! Who put a revenant in the closet? This isn't friggin' Plutonia. Whoops. Yeah, it's a shame when that happens. Yes. I feel like there were more monsters when I tried to rush through this area. It was actually kind of alarming how it came to the door like that. It looked bigger than... I associate them with being. There's definitely something on that terminal. Looks like I'll have to find my way to get up there.
Warning. Flow control system failure.
Oh
Toxins
no.
identified. Execute cleanup procedure.
I hate this portion of the game. Mainly because I feel like it's sort of just, it's an obstacle that gets in the player's way, and it feels like it drags on for a little too long. This is basically meant to be pretty much the nukage from the original game. Spill of
Flow control system failure. Toxins identified. Execute cleanup procedure.
And not only did we introduce revenants in this area, but we'll soon be introduced to another Doom 2 alum.
Warning. Flow control system failure. Toxins identified. Execute cleanup procedure.
You know what? There we go. I really hope.
Warning.
Thank
Flow
you.
control system failure. Toxins identified. Execute cleanup procedure.
How? Fucking hell. You know what? I'll get a little bit more creative then. Wait. That was alarming. The fact that it closed. They don't close. It says trap written all over it. I think that my instincts are dead. Well, looks like I'm up here. Health station and PDA. Great. Extend service letter. Oh, up there. And a video disc. Linkzilla Sadawaji. Japanese. Let's see.
Welcome to the UAC Maintenance Department. This video will provide you with the necessary tools and information to do your job efficiently and safely. A safe worker is a happy worker, and your safety is our #1 priority at UAC. Observe all signs and follow all procedures to keep you and your coworkers out of harm's way. Cleanup is one of the most important aspects of what we do in maintenance. This phase of our job keeps everyone safe, and research has shown that working in a clean and toxic-free environment has a positive benefit on overall productivity. Power generation on Mars produces two byproducts, steam and green goo. We vent the steam all over the base, through vents, floor grates, cleverly placed pipes, and pretty much any place else. The goo is a result of the MFS process reacting with core elements in the Martian soil. It is not radioactive, but it is quite toxic. Remove all toxic spills at once. Hazmat suits are the best way to protect yourself when a spill occurs. And if you happen to come in contact with the goo, report immediately to a medical station for a scrub down. After a few days in confinement, you should be ready to report back to work. Report any rule violations to your immediate supervisor. And don't forget to read your employee handbook for additional rules and information.
Hazmat response. Let's see. Henry Varela, pump malfunction. Nicholas, I've redirected control for the main pump to flow service terminal located on the maintenance platform above this area. If the main pump should crack or malfunction and cause a spill, the only way to shut it down would be from there. Entry into the pump room would just be too dangerous. If you have any questions, please see me. Thank you. Henry. Locked armaments. I'm interested in this. Scott Johnson. Mr. Sadawaji. I fear that the rumors I've been hearing might actually be true. The other day, someone from my team was cleaning up a toxic spill in Delta, and they said that they actually saw some sort of creature down there. He didn't know what it was, but it really scared him, and it got us thinking. We can't be too careful. I've locked some ammunitions and combat armor in the cabinet by the monorail airlock door here in Sector 2. If you ever need to get in, the code is 483. Scott. Well, thank you, Scott. That's taken the initiative.
This is the audio log of Nicholas Edgeway, member of UAC Mars Hazmat Response Team, dated October 1st, 2145. We have concluded that the Martian atmosphere is wreaking havoc on the exhaust valve seals and the standard number 5 disposal ground. Engineers cannot explain the high level of contaminants in our internal atmosphere. Air scrubbers and filtration systems all seem to be operating at normal levels, yet a small layer of particulate is making it into the storage areas. That is what caused the lockdown yesterday. EAP Director Charles Hollis informs me that the personnel won't be harmed by these contaminants in the air, but we've seen that they do cause a corrosive reaction when introduced to the rubber compounds used in the storage systems. Effective immediately, all number 5 disposal drums must be locked away in at least a Class 2 rated transport medium. Assessment ends.
Okay. Ah! Like, that thing's brain got some serious pump action. I think this is... Yep, the emergency shutdown valve, but... Ooh, cells. I wonder what's this way. Looks like this is just a quicker way to get back around. I guess they don't want you crawling over the pipes to get back. Shut down.
Pump station shut down.
Objective complete. Broken pump. Alright. Isolated canister, leak sealed. Hazardous. Okay, so... maybe I guess I head back to that terminal that's down there and see what I can do. Okay. That's it. I guess maybe I go back into the main chamber then. See if anything has changed. shells. Well. I don't like the noises in here. Everything sounds like imps. So, since basically, like, we're pretty much like playing a Doom game, might as well bring up some Doom-related topics. How do you guys feel about the 2005 Doom movie starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Carl Urban? Personally, when it first came out, I was a bit confused, as, well, I'm just gonna be honest, I've basically been playing Doom pretty much since I was, like, less than 5 years old. It was literally the first video game my family ever owned because my dad basically had the Ultimate Doom, which he put on the home computer that we had, and basically it was like the first video game that I ever played, and I wasn't scared of it. My brother was. Then when basically the first time when I started going to school, it was a Christian school, and well, while everybody else was talking about how they were playing things like Super Mario and Sonic the Hedgehog and stuff, I was talking to them about something called Doom, something that they'd never heard of, and quite frankly, something that the adults didn't want me to talk about around the other children because, well, fighting demons from hell is not exactly something that Christians think makes for wholesome children's entertainment, so, even though, quite frankly, it serves their cause, wouldn't you say? I didn't think I would have to go this far back. I mean, shouldn't I have already run into, like, that spilled area by now? I mean, there was a that's an imp that spawned here, but I honestly don't think I'm supposed to come this way. Anyway, the thing about it is, because nobody else at my school knew what Doom was, I honestly thought that Doom was like a very low-key game that only certain people knew about, and I liked it. It's like I had this cool secret that nobody else knew about. And then, a few years go by, the 2000s begin, Doom 3 comes out, and I'm thinking, is that Doom as in the sequel to the game that we know? Because what happened to Doom 2? I didn't know that they made a Doom 2. So if they made this third one, but it looks so different, it's like, I wouldn't mind playing it, but... So... Ah! Son of a bitch. Anyway, about maybe 1 or 2 years after the Doom 3 game goes by, we suddenly start seeing trailers for a Doom movie. And the only reason that I basically, took notice of it is because the Scorpion King was in it. Yeah, back then we only knew him as the Scorpion King, because those are the only movies that he'd actually been in yet, so... Anyways, I basically kept wondering, is it actually supposed to be based on that game that we know? Because it was so different, and I really didn't know about, I didn't understand the aesthetic change I didn't realize that it was all still part of, like, the same video game franchise. Then, basically, like, one day after the movie had been in theaters, our family rented it from a Blockbuster, back when they still had those things, and yeah, it was pretty obvious that it was meant to be the Doom based on the video game when we saw the opening title sequence. I gotta admit, I really do love that intro sequence. That's like, I'm so glad that that's been added to Doom Media. It's basically kind of like what Doom 64 did for the Nintendo, except, well, a bit cleaner, I should say. And with less gunfighting going on. But anyways, and the fact that it takes place on Mars, but the thing about it is, over the last 15 years, the Doom movie, the original one at least, has been the subject of scorn and ridicule because it doesn't follow the plot of the games, and instead makes up its own plot. And people are wondering why that is. It's like, the games are all about the UAC opening up a portal to hell and whatnot, and, well, basically like, and it's all about basically this one lone soldier who finds weapons across the Mars facility and fights his way through it, killing everything that gets in his way. Like, why did they need to change the story? They ended up changing the story to where the UAC, much like in this game, has an archaeological dig going on Mars. In fact, you'll find that a lot of the aesthetic of the movie is based on this reboot of Mars, because they thought that this version of Doom would basically be the next generation of the game and the aesthetic going forward. In a lot of ways they were right, in a lot of ways they were wrong, like painfully wrong. So, in this archaeological dig on Mars, they discovered humanoid remains, and these people that lived on Mars apparently were superhuman, as some of them had an extra chromosome that basically pretty much turned them into superhumans, even though that's not how chromosomes work. And usually having an extra chromosome means that you, yeah, I'm just not gonna say it, but basically like, I'm pretty sure this is the place that introduces our new friend. He's gonna come through that door. You will meet him when he comes through that door. But anyway, a lot of people basically use that as a criticism of the movie, that the monsters have, well, anyway. It turns out this extra chromosome actually was the plague that wiped out the species on Mars, because apparently the chromosome was synthetic. Yeah, the ancient Martians were somehow so advanced that they could basically genetically engineer new chromosomes to make themselves better, stronger, faster, smarter, and immune to disease. And yet, somehow or another, they weren't smart enough to foresee the fact that this chromosome could actually mutate, transforming into a virus that ends up mutating whatever poor soul gets injected with it. So that's where the monsters from Doom come from. Apparently, this chromosome was basically, the chromosome was re-engineered by the UAC, and they end up testing it on a psychotic serial killer who was in prison for life named Stahl. And Stahl turns into the Hell Knight in the movie, who proceeds to tear through the facility, killing everybody else and infecting everybody who gets in his way. So, I'm gonna need this. Yep. Oh. It's a pinky. I guess this isn't the place. So, basically, like, I feel like you gotta take the Doom movie with a grain of salt, because, like, video game movies still aren't perfected yet. We're starting to get to a point where it's possible to make a good, if not passable, video game movie, but we're still a long cry away from having a movie that actually follows the plot of one of the actual games. So, carven stone. We are getting very deep. Oh, good. my old friends. Oh, how I haven't missed you. And unfortunately, my aim is not getting any better. It looks like they have big noses, don't they? Like, basically what I'm assuming are eye sockets look like big nostrils to me. There's one behind me, isn't there? I didn't bother looking because there shouldn't be one there. A lot of people were wondering why it is that they couldn't follow the plot of the original Doom games, because it is friggin' interesting having basically... I think that basically, like, as far as Doom goes, it probably has one of the more unique video game stories ever. That basically a portal to hell is opened on Mars. Who thought of that? So... it kind of reminds me of that episode of Code Monkeys, WrestleMania, where Larry temporarily hires John Romero, the guy who basically was one of the guys who created Doom. He's one of the most well-known guys, and basically Romero pitches the idea of Doom to him, and Larry's just shooting him down at every single term. Okay, so it takes place on Mars. Dumb. Everybody knows Saturn is the best planet. Okay, so demons from hell come to this. Devil don't live in outer space, boy. He lives at the center of the earth with Hitler. Okay, it's got 3 episodes. Time's up. And cut your dang hair, boy. You look like a gosh darn hippie. God, I miss that show. But anyways, I think that the reason that they had to change the story is because you guys gotta admit that basically, like, back in the early 2000s, well, Christian and Christian themes were still basically, like, big in society nowadays, and I don't think that movie theaters, that any movie maker wanted to alienate members of their potential audience back then, and I felt like they removed any sort of reference to any religion and whatnot in order to not offend, like, the potential Christian audience. It's a theory. I don't think that basically they went... I think that they removed the whole demons from hell thing as not to basically, like, get... to scare off potential Christian viewers, even though I feel like the people who would be scared off from this movie probably weren't going to see it in the first place, because they'd basically be like, we should boycott this movie because it teaches children about demons from hell, and we should not basically have this in our media. It's like the guy who basically thinks that Pokemon teaches kids wizardry and sorcery and how to capture demons and compel them to their will. It's like, how do you basically equate anything that happens in Pokemon to magic? You basically, like, you basically throw a ball at an animal and capture the animal inside the ball. Effectively, a Pokeball is pretty much just a small, compact rabbit trap. So, anyway, I feel like that basically, and plus there's the character of Goat. Goat is the religious guy that is a member of the commando team, and he's also a devout Catholic. He's supposed to be one of the guys that has a moral center, but I feel like he basically is sort of, he takes his beliefs to an extreme. I think he's meant to be a commentary about how beliefs can sometimes make you come full circle in a sort of way. How basically if you're too extreme in, like, your belief against evil things, you might basically hit a blind spot when it comes to your own evil misdoings. So basically there's like a scene where Goat, like, gets startled and accidentally curses. He says Jesus Christ or God damn it or something, and as penance for this, he takes out a knife and cuts a cross into his forearm, even though, like, basically it's like he's repenting for taking his name in vain. Even though I'm pretty sure the Bible has some lines about self-mutilation, You know, except for when it's not genital mutilation, because... Anyway, I'm not gonna basically, like, turn this into a bash on religion. I'm just basically saying that it might be possible, but they probably didn't do... It probably was futile anyway. Goat is actually one of the guys that ends up turning into a monster, but... A zombie guy, but he pretty much, like, has enough cognizance in himself left to realize that he's turning into something evil. So he basically gets off the table, he crosses himself, and then he basically commits suicide by bashing his head against a glass window until he dies. It's one of the more disturbing scenes, but I think it's one of the deeper ones too. It's like, I'd rather basically, like, kill myself than become this evil thing, so... No data? Ooh! Michael Abrams, alright, so... You know what, since this is basically a reply to that message, I'll basically, like, say... Rocket launcher. New rocket launcher. To Michael Abrams. Mr. Abrams, thank you for the rocket launcher, but I need more than the pre-installed 5 rockets for it. We have quite a few barrels here that need to be destroyed. I placed it on my weapons rack for now, and will begin destroying the barrels once I have more ammo. Thank you, Tony. Let's see what his reply is. I put in a request for more rocket ammo. I didn't realize how many barrels we needed destroyed. They need a rocket launcher to destroy barrels? Oh my god, it's not... Wow, it's a completely different message. Tony, I'm sending you one of the new rocket launchers that we've received from the Marines. Please take some of the surplus toxic barrels lying around the machine and blow them up. Be careful not to hurt yourself. The area damage is much larger than previous rocket launcher models. Thank you, Michael Abrams. Wow. UAC, this is what they do with disposing hazardous waste material. Dear valued customer, sleep away. Are you tired at work often? Yes, actually. Do you feel like you have less energy? Literally all the time. Introducing the new and improved Sleep Away Pill. Now, better than ever, the new Sleep Away Pill will keep you feeling refreshed and going strong all day. For more information, visit MartianBuddy.com. Sleep away, so it basically, like, pushes away sleep. Alright, so... Where... Did I get a code for this? Once I have more ammo, destroying the... Placed it on my weapons rack. Thank you. Huh. All idiots. So... Okay, I just felled him with literally one shot to the head. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Well, nothing popped out at me. Rocket launcher. This is gonna be fun. The only problem is, this is actually kind of tight, confined space, so I better be careful. Quick! Do a shell count. We need to conserve ammunition. Load up. Do it now. What's going on here? We're being hunted. As for the Doom movie itself, I actually kind of like it. I mean, I like the basically, like, well, I kind of like Carl Urban's character. The fact that basically he has this backstory that, like, involved his time on Mars. I didn't expect Carl Urban to be Doom Guy, because I imagined Doom Guy would be like of a broader build, but I didn't expect Sarge to be Doom Guy either. I just kind of assumed that, like, in this movie, there wasn't going to be a real Doom Guy, so... But I think that basically, like, Carl Urban's character, John Reaper Grimm, like, comes pretty close to being Doom Guy, so why knock it? Where the fuck am I supposed to go out there? Am I even supposed to come out here? Or is that just supposed to be like a trick? Aha! Ah! Right, recycling. Man, I feel dumb. I better save on my real file. I have a feeling that this is where Betruger is going to start taunting us. In fact, I'm surprised that he hasn't done it already. Speak of the devil. He knows we're talking about him. Yep, I bet drinking all that children's blood made him go blind in his left eye. Or is it his right eye? I don't care. Yep, this is it alright. Eh. Okay, guys, time for me to basically, find out what a mistake that I've made. Ooh. Jeffrey Moen. No audio logs, come on. Henry Varela, pump malfunction. Jeff, the main waste processing unit is here in Sector 1, is running at a higher pressure level that it was rated for. I am very concerned about the stability on the whole system. One fault or stress fracture in any of the lines could cause doom for the whole mechanism. This processing system here was never designed to process that much waste, but they keep shipping it to us. We urgently need a new pump here before this one fails. Thank you, Henry. Greg Brandenburg, toxic waste storage. Mr. Moen, it is very important that you remember to store toxic waste barrels in their proper location. Having volatile substances so close to where the people work is very dangerous, especially around doorways and narrow passages. If one of those barrels exploded, it could cause a lot of damage and someone might be seriously hurt, or worse, killed. That's a lot of damage. And unfortunately, the UAC doesn't have the budget for flex tape. It's the only company left on Earth that could somehow compete with them. Please address this problem immediately. Brandenburg. You know what I just don't get, like, about a big UAC company here, like, in the future with space travel, to the point where literally the Hydrocon produces both fuel and water, drinkable water. They've got literally the ability to go anywhere friggin' in space. We have plenty of fuel, and we're not running out of it anytime soon. Why don't you take those barrels, put them on some kind of rocket, and shoot them into the sun? Seriously, are you worried about blowing up the sun? I don't think that the sun is actually going to blow up, because by the time the barrels get anywhere close to it, they will be incinerated before ever touching its surface. Hello, Doc.
Making progress, are we? And in such a hurry to find us, to find me.
Actually, I don't even know you.
To rush. I am everywhere, and everything here is mine.
Hey, there's...
We thank you for alerting the fleet, for warning them. You're such a fool. They're racing here, racing to us, and we are waiting. Waiting for them to fall into their worst nightmare. They will join my legion, and with their ships, I will bring this hell to Earth. You won't live to see it. And you will die long before you have a chance to warn them.
You see, Doc, that's your big problem. The fact that you, unlike the other forces of hell, and those that are just waiting to take your place, lack vision. You lack ingenuity. You lack true intelligence. You only focus on the immediate. Because you see, if you hadn't contacted me and taunted me, you would not have become my latest project. But more than that, Doc, much more than this, is the fact that right now I'm pretty sure there's somebody in hell that's very impressed with me, and is kind of miffed that you just gave away the game to me, and that you basically are thinking that you can kill me, when in reality, you should be doing what your colleague, Dr. Fordage, did on Deimos. That's a bit of a spoiler for, like, what you can expect from the Doom audio drama, but the simple gist of it is that basically the experiments that turned John into a super soldier, they weren't meant to turn him into a soldier for the human race. Nope.
Warning. Air filtration system offline. Toxicity level increasing.
And I think that you guys can figure out the rest from there.
Slow death as your lungs fill with toxic gases.
Oh no, he's pumping this facility with dioxis. Oh no. Seriously, lost souls are friggin' worse than Dorbies. Why won't they go away? And there goes my timer. Fucking timer.
Attention. Initiating pump station 1B.
Right. I do really want to get back to that point where I died, though.
Warning. Air filtration system offline. Toxicity level increasing.
There's nothing left for you but a slow death as your lungs fill with toxic gases.
Ah! You jumped too quickly! Seriously. Friggin' hate the fact that by the time you friggin' see that they're there, they're literally already on your ass. You're supposed to be dead by now. Seriously, this is a law. Literally speaking, I'm only supposed to have to spray you with a few bullets, then you die. Friggin'... See? The board is much happier with your performance this time. We're the lost souls. Thank you. Okay, so we basically have learned that Betruger is definitely, without a doubt, 100% behind all of this, and us contacting the fleet was all a part of his trap. And now, he has basically closed off the ventilation scrubbers in the area that we are in, and is flooding this facility with toxic gas. We probably have only minutes to live, but unfortunately, that is all the time that we have for this video. Really hope that you guys are enjoying this playthrough. I basically enjoyed talking about Doom 3, even though I don't think I completed a single thought about it, but I actually like the movie. I mean, it's not true or accurate to the game, but I feel like it's just a fun action movie to put on in the background while you're just basically wanting to kill time. I remember basically, like, I used to stay up, like, all night basically playing the movie on loop while I basically, like, did other things, like played games or basically just did stuff on my laptop, and I loved it. So, anyways, and now that basically it's been, like, what, more than friggin', like, I have no idea. Friggin' 14 years later, they made another attempt at making a Doom movie, and it sucks even worse than the original one did. And yet, it's somehow more accurate to the game, so I don't think that game accuracy was really the movie's problem. It really was, like, how the movies were presented. But, really, I just really hope that basically, with how bad Doom Annihilation was, it makes people appreciate the original Doom movie a little bit more. So, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please leave a comment on the comment section below. Show, like, and share with your friends. You want to keep up to date on more, I forgot what I was saying. More Doom 3, Doom Cubed coming at you in the future. Then be sure to smash that subscribe button and ring that bell for notifications. And as always, I will catch you guys in the next video. Later.